Right, it's 12:30, so I am absolutely delighted to be kicking off. And welcome to all of our guests who have come to join us today. Now, as you know, this week we are celebrating National Meals and Wheels Week, which is a very special occasion for us because in Hertfordshire, we are very proud, with the support of the County Council, to have the largest Meals and Wheels service in the country. And we're able to benefit thousands of people each year. Very sadly, in other parts of the country, Meals and Wheels is no longer always available. And so people are not able to receive the benefits that people of Hertfordshire can from HILS. But we wanted to use this week not only to tell you about meals, but also to tell you about the more bit of our Meals and More service. Because actually, giving people good nutrition is only part of the way that we can keep them healthy. We can ensure that people are really fit and healthy in their homes by providing lots of other support too. And I am delighted today that we're going to be telling you about one of our fantastic services that is absolutely groundbreaking and which has made the most tremendous difference to people's lives. That is our active aging service. So without further ado, I'm very pleased to introduce to you the lead of this service, our wonderful Jade, who's going to tell us all about it. Over to you, Jade.
Thank you, Sarah. Just pull up my presentation. So, the active aging service. So the active aging service is to try and support our clients to remain happy, healthy, and independent in their own homes through the use of physical activity and trying to support our clients to practice exercises regularly in their homes. So the active aging service is completely free for anyone over the age of 55. Sport England have provided the funding for this. We work very closely with the council who support us to analyse and evaluate the data that we collect. And then it's us at HILS that get to go out and actually work with the clients. So I'm just going to click onto my next slide. There we go. Oh, too soon. So the programme itself is actually 12 weeks. So it's the 12 weeks, 1 hour session each week that our clients receive. Now, of course, everyone is very different. So we need to tailor the programme to suit our clients' needs. And we do this by popping the majority of our clients into 2 cohorts. So we work with our frail clients who receive 12 weeks of chair-based exercises. So when we have a chair-based exercise session, we will focus on circulation boosting activities, mobility exercises, and also the use of resistance bands, which you can see in the picture here, to try and build strength in the muscles. And then we also have our transition cohort. So these are often people who come to us and say, you know, I'm just not as strong as I used to be, can still get out and about, but I need to improve my strength and balance. So that is exactly what we do, and we give them exercises to try and improve their strength and balance. Now, since lockdown, it's been a really busy time, and we've been completely redesigning our service, which is very exciting. We now actually offer 2 different pathways. So our first pathway that we offer is our hybrid pathway. So essentially what we're trying to do is minimise contact with our clients as much as possible. So by doing this, we deliver the majority of our exercise sessions over video call, which you can see in the picture here. This is one of our lovely clients, Brenda, who is actually 94 years of age, and we're going to see a little bit more of her later on as well. So if a client is on our hybrid pathway, we will initially go out to see them and complete what we call an evaluation. So this gives our instructors time to get to know the client, find out what they want to achieve from taking part in the programme, and also find out kind of what their ability is currently like. We then actually install the technology. So we find out kind of what's the best position for the device to be in, and make sure that the client understands how to use it as well. Some of our clients will have never used a video call before, so we want to make sure that they feel really confident and comfortable with using it as well. We then return back the following week to complete some exercises face-to-face as well. So just to get them comfortable with the idea of doing some gentle exercise with their instructor. We then also provide extra telephone support if it's needed with regards to using the technology. But the device that we are using with our clients actually requires very little input from the client. It's set up. And the client just has to sit there. We give them a call on their landline to let them know we're about to video call, and then it's already on auto answer. So the video call starts automatically, which is really, really good. Takes the stress out of it for them. We then complete weeks 2 to 11, over video call like that. And then we revisit one more time to complete an evaluation at 12 weeks. So that's a really good opportunity to repeat the evaluation we did at week 1 and kind of track their progress, see what improvements have been made, which a lot of our clients find really beneficial and motivational as well. Often they're very surprised at how much they can achieve in just those 12 weeks. Our second pathway is the in-person pathway. So although the hybrid is great because it's minimizing contact, we appreciate that for some of our clients who have, hearing impairments or visual impairments, or they may be living with dementia in the later stages, and the video call just may not be suitable. So if we have clients where it isn't suitable, we can still visit in home, but we do have lots of, safety precautions in place to again, keep our instructors and the client as safe as possible. So we complete pre-visit questionnaires before we go out, just to kind of plan our visit. This means that we can kind of maintain a 2-meter distance as much as possible. We can wear PPE, and we do as well. We even bring our own chairs to sit on, and we sanitize everything, obviously, before and after our visits as well. So the in-person pathway, again, we have our baseline evaluation. Weeks 2 to 11 is the exercises in the home, and week 12 again is the evaluation. So similar format, just all completed at home. We have had, obviously we've been running trials as part of the service redesign, and it's been really interesting to see the 2 pathways and kind of how they're working. We're going to look at some examples later on, but we have actually had some clients say that they just feel so much safer doing the sessions over video calls at the moment, and we have seen them be really, really effective, which is great. So the active ageing service. So obviously we receive referrals from so many different sources, whether it be GPs, physios, family members, or even clients themselves. When we receive a referral, we always call the client just to let them know that they've been referred and that they are on our waiting list. When it's time for them to take part and we have a space available, we always complete a physical activity readiness questionnaire, a PARQ, to check that they're physically, safe to take part in the programme. And if we have any concerns, then we do make contact with their GP as well, just to check. Once that is complete and we're happy for them to take part, then we do the evaluation in person, as I said, and we complete the 12 weeks. We then also revisit at 6 months and follow up with a phone call at 12 months. So what we're really keen is to just not go, okay, 12 weeks, there you are, goodbye. We want to keep in contact with them, and we want to keep motivating them and encouraging them to keep up with the good work and kind of maintain what they have through their weekly sessions with an instructor. And we find that those little reminders just kind of really help with that. At the start of every client's program, they also have the opportunity to set themselves aims, okay, and that can be different for every single client. I might meet someone and they say to me, you know, I would just really like to be able to pop my socks on by myself, or it might be that they want to be able to walk to the bottom of their road to post a letter. It's completely personal. We set aims we set a 4-week aim, an 8-week aim, and a 12-week aim. So it just helps to kind of keep focus. And again, for us as instructors, it's really useful for tailoring the sessions. It also helps with kind of giving a little bit of context behind why you're doing the exercises. So for example, if we were going to do an exercise to strengthen the bicep, to make that more relevant to my client, I might tell them that this is going to support with kind of being able to lift the kettle to make your cup of tea in the morning. And I find that when you make it relevant, you make them understand why they're doing the exercise, then, you know, they're much more likely to practice and then see more benefits. Again, with all of our services, we're always trying to do the utmost for our clients. So we're always looking to signpost. So often we'll go out to clients and they have other needs. So we like to make sure that we have means of getting them support. We also, so that's signposting to lots of other services for care needs, but also after the 12 weeks, we want them to keep active, as I've already mentioned. So it's signposting them to online classes as well, which that is one benefit of lockdown. There's actually a lot more online classes available now to older adults. I recently had a client who now she's on Facebook. I think she's 84. She's on Facebook now and she joins in with live exercises daily. And she said it's just like being part of a club. And she was over the moon when the instructor gave her a shout out as well, which was really lovely. She couldn't wait to tell me. So yeah, we'll move on to our next slide. So I think what's really good, you know, telling you about the service, I can chat and chat, but what's really great is to actually look at some of our clients and hear about their experiences. So that leads me to introduce Stanley. So Stanley is, I think, 93 or 94, I can't remember exactly. So forgive me if I'm adding an extra a year, Stanley. I met Stanley beginning this year and we were doing incredibly well in our sessions. We then went into lockdown and had to suspend the active ageing service. Although Stanley and I continued with weekly phone call sessions, there was a kind of real decrease in his mobility, and he did actually have increased falls. He had a couple of falls as well. So me and his daughter, who you can see in this picture here, we got on the phone together and said, right, you know, let's try and get some video call sessions going. So she was able to support us with weekly video sessions. Stanley had a physio assessment, and they said that he had kind of real muscle wastage in his right side. So we really focused our attention on trying to increase the muscle strength in the right leg. When we first started working together, I asked him to do an exercise, which you're going to see in just a moment, where you slide the foot forward and try and lift the foot off the floor using the muscle in the right thigh. And when we first tried this, he could only just lift the foot off the floor. But if we take a look here, after only a few weeks of video call sessions and with him practicing this daily, he was actually able to kind of slide his foot, lift it all the way up to kind of the height of a chair, which he's touching his daughter's hand with his foot in just a moment. He then holds it for 3 seconds and then gently lowers with control as well, which was something we worked on. It's a little bit blurry on my side. I hope you saw that okay. We might just have to play that one more time. But I mean, it just shows that when you practice regularly and you put your mind to it, and again, with support of family members, regular intervention, you can make changes. By improving the strength on this right side, Stanley was then so much more steadier on his feet, And that gave him so much more confidence as well. He's actually recently become a Meals on Wheels client as well, and he's really enjoying having the drivers coming in every day. So that's Stanley. Just one last client I wanted to tell you about. This is a gentleman called Jay. Now, when I met Jay in January, again, he was using a frame. He actually had a liver transplant last year, and then unfortunately he had bacterial meningitis. This resulted in, he lost a lot of weight. He had real muscle wastage. And he was very frail. We worked together. I gave him lots of exercises to practice, which he's just such a motivated individual. He religiously practices his exercises. He tries to get in 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day now, and this is what he looks like now. So no frame, and he can now practice some of the most challenging balance exercises. So he's doing a knee bend here, which challenges the three main muscles in the legs, which are your quads, your hamstrings, and your glutes. And he holds, and then he comes up. And to think that when I met him in January, he was using a frame, it's just incredible. And again, here practicing balancing on his tiptoes. And again, he finds the video call sessions really engaging and enjoyable. And yeah, I'm just overwhelmed with his progress. And I'm very proud of him. So it just shows that, video call sessions can be effective. They do work. And I think now more than ever, as we go into this second lockdown, we need to be motivating these kind of getting these key messages out there. If you don't move it, you are going to lose it. Any movement is good movements. These are all things I say again and again to my clients. But yes, so that's kind of active aging in a nutshell. And I think I'm going to hand back to Sarah now, and we're going to be having some questions.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jade. Well, I hope that you found it as inspiring as I did listening to Jade. The wonderful thing is that you can sense the relationship that develops with our clients. Last year, we looked after almost 500 people on the active aging service. And with every single one of them, a relationship is formed. And on the basis of that, we can carry on with that motivation to really achieve incredible things. I think something else that's worth mentioning is that the evaluation that the team do at the start is based on a lot of validated tools. So we're actually able to mark progress in terms of strength and balance and a whole load of other tools. We can actually see people improving. This also includes reductions in frailty that we've seen, increased confidence, reduced fear of falling, things that really, really do make a difference to people's lives. Now, I'm very excited that we've got some questions coming in, so we'll start with those straight away. And the first of them was a technological question from Dawn about the use of AnyDesk. Now, I'm not sure whether or not we can answer that straight away, but maybe Jade, you'd like to talk about the different technology trials that we've been doing during this this COVID period.
Let's try again. AnyDesk isn't actually something I've heard of, but it's something we could look into. Obviously, we need to get consent from our clients and what have you. But we have, yeah, as Sarah said, we've tried lots of different technology. We've tried alcoves, we've tried comps, as I said, just normal tablets with auto answer features. So we have explored different options. I think obviously it would depend on each client and what they're using the tablet for. Dawn, are you thinking for other professionals to get involved as well?
So sorry guys, I had a look at AnyDesk, and essentially it's a remote service, so it allows you to control or manage a tablet from wherever you are. So similar to how our IT providers can manage our laptops without being there. So I think she was suggesting it by the way of changing settings if we needed to, or to support the clients with navigating the the tablet if they're unable.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as I said, we've tried to pick the most simplest of device so that it's completely set up and we don't have to do anything with it, and we just leave it there with the client. Yeah, definitely. Oh, you use it for your parents, brilliant. So yeah, we'll definitely look into it, because if we were struggling and we did have to access a tablet to resolve a problem, that could be a really good resolution. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And I think, again, this is one of the positives that's come out of the COVID crisis. And whilst we are seeing extra challenges with people not moving around enough and effects on malnutrition and other negative things, actually, it's been great that we've been able to trial new ways of improving people's ability to access services, because, you know, doing some digital connection was something which we had thought about. But of course, you know, as with most of us, it was on our long list. But this crisis has really helped us to move forward on that. Dawn is also asking about our current waiting list, Jade. I wonder if you could tell us about that.
Yeah, there is quite a long waiting list. So we have about 400 people on our waiting list at the moment. So it is taking us a little bit of time to get out to clients. So as I said, we do make clients aware when they are on the waiting list, and we can signpost them to like online classes in the meantime while they are waiting. But unfortunately, there's just a lot of people out there that need the support, and there aren't services like ours in Hertfordshire. You know, we are the only kind of service where we're providing support at home to older people. So lots of people that need our help, but we're doing our best to get out to people.
Thanks, Jade. And I think that that's a really important point. Very sadly, with money being very tight in health and social care, a lot of the funding of falls prevention services and other exercise programs has been withdrawn. And that has been a real issue. So Jade explained that Sport England helped to fund this service, but also Public Health Hertfordshire funded as well, and we in HILS do too. And that has been crucial. But what we really need to see over the coming years is that health services really start to fund this provision as well, because we can prove that it works. We are able, through our evaluation, to show that it really does have impact, and that this is such an important service, because it also reduces isolation, and as I said before, increases confidence and so forth. So Jade, are there any other sort of particular stories that you'd like to tell us about individuals that that have really touched your heart, where you've seen you know, people really fighting against the odds and coming through?
Gosh, there's so many. I think we also have our wellbeing client of the season, which is a really lovely initiative at HILS. So you may have Star of the Month where you work, and it's that same kind of thing, but we like to celebrate our clients' successes, which is lovely. And every month we or every season, wellbeing client of the season, should I say, we get lots of nominations from our instructors, and it is very difficult to choose winners. I think this time we actually had to pick two. But one of the winners this time round was a lady called Anna. And now she has she's a very anxious person, and she really struggled with lockdown. It was really difficult. She used to go out and do her shopping and have coffee and things like that, and that was kind of her activity that used to kind of keep her happy, and she said used to keep me sane. So when that was taken away from her, she felt, in her words, like a tiger in a cage, because she couldn't leave her house. She has a landline phone, which is on a cord, and she has no internet. So our lovely instructor, Nikki, who was working with her, she used to try and call her and talk her through the exercises. She'd then have to put the phone down, go away, do the exercise, and come back to the phone. So that was really difficult. And when we first introduced the idea to Anna that we could provide her with a piece of technology, she was totally overwhelmed. She said, no, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to manage it. It just wouldn't be for me. But she now has weekly exercise sessions over video call with our instructor, Nikki. She just said it's been a real lifeline for her. I think she has a kind of newfound confidence in herself, because it was something that she just wrote off that she didn't think she could do, and she has managed it. And the next step is to try and connect her with her niece over video call as well, so that hopefully that'll be really useful during this second lockdown. So yeah, that's Anna.
Fantastic, thank you. And I think that in the chat, our colleague has put a link so that you can read more about that lovely lady. Now, one of the other things that Jade mentions that's really important is the way that services knit together. And that is not just the HILS services, it's also services across the rest of the VCSE sector, and of course with health and social care colleagues as well. So Jade, can you tell us about a time perhaps when we've had a client that has needed particular support or more support from our Meals on Wheels team? Because of course we know that during COVID, sarcopenia or muscle wasting has been a real issue, and having plenty of protein and eating enough is very important to be able to tackle that.
Yeah, no, definitely. We have a lot of clients who receive Meals on Wheels. They also receive support from our nutrition service as well. So I have a gentleman called Mr. Viney who I finished the program with him now, but again, he's worked so hard. He's quite frail, and he essentially was very underweight. So our nutrition service started seeing him just before I got in contact with him. And he actually has his Meals on Wheels. He has nutrition boost as well. So he has a big soup before his main meal and then dessert as well. And he's just worked really hard to take on all of the nutritional advice from our nutrition team to include, you know, kind of lots of calorific drinks into his diet. He even fries two eggs to have with his Meals on Wheels as well. And he's actually managed, I think it was 5 kilograms he put on when our nutrition team went out to weigh him, and he actually was worried he'd lost weight. So he's done so well. I mean, to gain 5 kilograms when you're in your 90s is a huge amount of weight, especially when he's so frail and got many other pre-existing conditions. But also with the active aging, alongside that, he was kind of doing daily circuits around his home, so walking around his home and doing muscle building exercises. So hopefully the two services together just really complemented each other, and he's made, you know, really good progress.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Jade. So I'll just wait and see if we have any remaining questions coming in. But if you could just very quickly also talk to us about how you work with colleagues in other sectors. So how perhaps we liaise with our wonderful health colleagues in Hertfordshire Community Trust and other organisations, and perhaps in social care as well.
Yeah, so we're really fortunate, I think, actually, and we do have, as I said earlier, we have lots of different referral sources. So we are always, you know, taking that on board. So, for example, if I do get a referral from a physiotherapist or a GP or an occupational therapist, sometimes it's really good to liaise with them and just kind of get a little bit more background on the client, because our referral forms, you know, although they are quite thorough, sometimes just good old phone call communication and just to get a little bit more info is really, really good. Many of our clients also receive you know, care visits throughout the day, and so often we encourage their carers to support them with practicing their exercises, because, as I said, you know, it's not just about our 12 weeks of intervention, it's about what's going to happen after that. What's the plan moving forward? How are they going to maintain their activity levels? So it's definitely a holistic approach, and we're definitely looking to always just kind of create a kind of support network around the client. So if they have other healthcare professionals involved, then let's all work together as a team. Let's get the family members involved as well if we can. And I think that's actually when you see the most progress, is when you do have a real strong support network around that client.
I think that's a really important thing to mention, that actually if we all work together, we can really improve the health and well-being of the people who we're trying to serve. But very sadly, many of our clients don't have any family and actually may not have any friends, because when you're in your 90s and your 100s, it may be that actually your friends have died, and clients, you know, may not have family left either. So it is so important that we work together to be able to try and impact people's lives. And although our waiting list is long at the moment, we are very happy to share other bits and pieces, other information that people can use whilst waiting for our service and to direct elsewhere. Dawn's just asked about where else this can be seen, and I know that our comms team are going to distribute this video and make it available on our website as well. So we will do that so that it's available. And on our website as well, we have lots of information about the active aging service that you can have a look at, so that if you'd like to find out more information about it, you can. So I think we just ought to see another example of our hybrid model in operation, but please be assured that we are still providing all of our services in person as well. It is really important for our clients who are unable to engage in the digital world that we are seeing them, and we're doing that in a really safe way. But I think we have a little video that I'd just like to show you of one of our clients having fun in one of her sessions with Jade. Thank you. Well, we certainly got a flavour of it there, and I always feel really enthused when I see Jade and colleagues working with our clients, because you can see the effort that's going on, and it also shames me and reminds me that I ought to be doing a bit of exercise too. But if we haven't got any further questions, then I'd just like to say a huge thank you for joining us today. A huge thank you to Jade and her team, who do the most remarkable work in Hertfordshire. Thank you. We've had a comment that it's really inspiring, and that's very kind to say. And yes, we would love this to be available to people across the country. And of course, that is something that now, with this new way of working and being able to do things online, we are hoping that we may be able to extend this to people who can't reach physically. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for supporting us during Meals and Wheels Week. And I hope that you've seen today how actually it's not just about meals, it really is about meals and more. And our active aging service is such an important part of improving the health and well-being of clients across Hertfordshire. Take care, everyone. Lovely to see you.
Bye.
Bye.